So, this little camera right here, if it will focus on there, come on now. I can't tell, that might be focused. It's still looking for me. It's a problem with these cameras these days. This little camera right here changed, I would say, a lot for me. Now, way back when, I started with a Nikon D40 DSLR. That was my very first real camera. Of course, I've had film cameras before that. I think my very first camera was like this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle camera that was like flat with a box and had like a turtle on the front. It took those weird, like that weird film that wasn't like a canister or a roll, but it had like one on each end, kind of like a VHS tape kind of thing. I think that was like my very first camera when I was like 4 or something like that. But the Nikon DSLR that I had was a D40. I got it at the kit lens, and I really didn't use it. I couldn't figure out how to use it. It was a decent camera, but I think I was too young for it. I can't even believe my parents bought that for me. Before that, I think I had a couple video cameras. Like I had a Sanyo video camera, one of those Hi8 ones, where it was like, it had the lens and you could rotate the body, and the lens was like on the side of it. I had that for a while, did a lot of videos when I was in high school with that. That was an interesting, I think that might have been the second real camera I ever had. First video camera for sure, because the D40 only took pictures, it didn't take videos from what I can remember. I actually had an opportunity to buy one on Marketplace a couple months ago, and it was cheap. It was like $100. And I was like, because the problem with older cameras like that is the grips right here, they start to get all sticky and nasty. And I mean, I've got enough cameras at this point, but this little guy, this is the first real camera that I owned since that camera. And by real, I mean, it's an APS-C size sensor, it's got interchangeable lenses, no viewfinder, but you know, just a little selfie screen kind of thing. Before that, I played around with a bunch of other cameras, A7S III, Fuji X-T5, Sony A7 IV, A6000, A6500, but they were never my cameras. My brother at the same time had the D40, just like me, and he went in a completely different direction. He got into photography, did a little bit of videography, but quite honestly, he just kind of went that direction. And he had all these cameras. He loves full frame cameras. And if you know anything about cameras, full frame, they're just better, but they're more expensive. Now, my brother's single, he has a good paying job, and he has the extra cash to spend. I don't. And for what I use cameras for, I need them to be small, light, and versatile. Part of the reason why I use my DJI Pocket 3 so much, because it's so small and versatile. And quite frankly, I broke it on one of our last travel vlogs for another channel, and had to send it back to DJI and get it fixed. Luckily, I did get the protection plan on it this time, because they're super expensive now with tariffs and all that kind of stuff. But this little camera right here, it changed a lot for me, because it gave me the opportunity to kind of really get to know a camera again. And what's fun, because it's a Nikon, so I'm back to Nikon again, off the Sony kick. And what I'm filming on right now is kind of we'll say the big brother to this little guy. This is the Nikon Z50 Mark II, newest version of their APS-C stuff. Basically, same sensor, but better chips, It might have AI in it, I don't know. And it has a viewfinder, so it's better for photography. This one, you can do it, but that one has better focus from like the more full frame cameras and things like that. My brother, oddly enough, is also back on an Nikon kick. He's got a Z8 for his main camera and a Panasonic S9, I think, for his secondary camera, which is kind of similar to this, just a little bit thicker and heavier. And they have great stability. But these are more like, this is more creator vloggy kind of stuff. That's more of a photo camera, but they're basically the same thing. I really like taking pictures with this. One of the nice things is that it is so small and compact. Now this is its smallest power zoom lens, which is actually fairly big, makes it not pocketable, but if you put the kit lens on it, honestly, you can fit it in a bag and a pocket, and it's super transferable as far as like an everyday carry, which is kind of nice. I think that is something to 50, 18 to 50, 24 to 50, something like that. And it condenses down. It's a manual zoom, and it's sharp enough for traveling and doing other things. Honestly, it's good enough. It just, this lens I'm using on this is a much faster lens, but it's not stabilized. And something, if you know anything about cameras, if you don't have in-body stabilization, you need optical stabilization, or it just looks like you're in an earthquake or like an action movie, basically. So these don't have in-body stabilization or IBIS, which is kind of nice because that makes them, if you look, I mean, that's super small and skinny. I mean, if you look at next to my hand, the body of it's, I don't know, about as thick as my thumb. There's a smaller lens that you can get, I think it's a 40, but it would be terrible for video. And it really only be good for photos. The nice thing about this is you can do both, and this lens is stabilized. Again, for what I'm using these for, I don't necessarily need that, but if I am doing something where I'm running around and videoing stuff, I'm probably just gonna use the pocket because of its gimbal. But that has its own issues with when you're trying to film kids and family trips, and you either drop it or your kids grab it and twist it, because both of those have happened. My last one had the screen broken and the motor and the mechanisms were kind of messed up. That being said, the new one drifts, and it's I don't know, there's something weird about the new one. It's a brand new replacement, but it just for some reason is finicky. I don't know what's going on with it. Maybe I'm just used to using a semi-broken camera gimbal. But this little guy got me back into photography and being able to record and take pictures of the recitals, the graduations, just random things, family picnics. Now, again, I had cameras before this, but they weren't mine, and I'd have them only for a short period of time, and then I'd give them back to my brother. Where this, I've had a chance to, over the last couple of years, really get to know this camera. So when I got the Z50 Mark II, a lot of it translated over. The menus were all the same, and if you know anything, once you kind of learn a menu about cameras, once you learn a menu, it's easier to get around. So switching between camera companies and menus can be a little confusing. So yeah, I've mentioned this before. I have many hobbies that I've invested a lot of time and money into, but quickly fall off. Cameras are not one of those. These are on the more expensive side of the hobbies, but it's kind of fun just to take this out and take photos. And yeah, you can like get lenses for it, which are more than the cameras, which is like printers and ink. The ink is more expensive than the printer, which always blows my mind. But yeah, the lenses are always more than the actual body of the camera. I mean, this thing used, I think, is less than $500. I think new it was with both lenses. I got the 50 to 250, and then the 18 to 18. Yeah, I think it's 18 to 50. I think that was like close to $1,000 when I got it. I don't know what it is now, but honestly, you can buy it all used, and that's typically how I go. This was actually bought new, that was actually bought new, but typically I buy used things because it's just cheaper and you don't pay the depreciation. Cars, camera gear, other things, not necessarily computers, but that kind of stuff. Anyways, this is very cool. I really am glad that I got back into photography and, you know, getting into videography with things like this, our travel videos that we have on as I mentioned, another channel, doing reviews of products too, which is on another channel. Yeah, it's kind of been a nice way to stretch out creativity with zero pressure or really like just for fun. These are just for fun. Our travel videos are fun, and the reason why I make those is because I really want to look back and have videos and photos to, like, we've got a bunch of external drives, which is photos of trips and things, and honestly I tried my best to keep them all organized, but really they're just kind of in piles on my external drive. Piles are the best way to explain it. I mean, they're just folders of just dumped memory cards with dates. But growing up, we didn't have any of these kind of memories, so to speak. I mean, we've got tons of photo albums, I'm sure. My mom had a camera. She had like a Pentax, but she didn't bring it everywhere. And we certainly didn't have cell phones. So nowadays with cell phones and things like that, you can capture stuff really, really easily. And that is the go-to, you know, the what do we have? 13 Pro Max iPhones and S24 Ultras and things like that to take our pictures with. But sometimes it's nice just to have these because you can dump it on, get the best quality, get the raw footage, raw JPEG stuff, and archive it a little bit better. So again, circling back here, ADD kicked in here for a minute. The reason why I like these, especially this is a great travel camera, is I can slap an ND filter on it. We can take it to Florida, or I can take the Pocket 3 and I can record our family trips, which is great because the kids can go back, they can watch it. You know, at some point when we're gone, our kids can go back and they can watch these videos and remember these trips. I took a ton of trips when I was a kid, mostly to North Carolina, but we went to Disney a couple of times and some other places. But we have no videos, no pictures that I know of, really. And it kind of stinks. Like, I know that it's kind of tiring to see people documenting all sorts of things, like, you know what I mean. But what is nice is being able to look back on those and see those trips. Like, other than our very first Disney trip, so let me take that back. The first Disney trip with me and my wife, and her family, we didn't take any photos, any videos, other than like camera, phone stuff. The second trip, which was the first one with our son, and he was about a year, maybe a year and a half old. We've got a couple, but they're mostly phone, mostly pictures on our phones and videos from our phones, because at that point I didn't have one of these, and I wasn't super comfortable carrying cameras around at that point. Now, at this point, I've carried cameras around pretty much everywhere that you're allowed to, and I'm fine with being stared at. Most people don't care. But every other trip, Disney or otherwise, we have been recording these, and it's been really good. And it's been nice to have these recordings to go back and look at, which has been nice. So yeah, I'll probably keep doing that. Who knows, maybe I'll upgrade this to whatever the next, whatever the next thing is in the next few years, but these are really just for fun. They're not a side hustle. They don't make any money. It'd be nice. Maybe if the reviews that I've been doing on the review channel, maybe one day those will take off. But as of now, these are just kind of practice for doing videography, this kind of stuff, and just kind of having some fun. And yeah, so we'll see where this goes.